What up, everyone? As you can see, we changed the background again, just a little bit, but with it. I hope you like it. So, in today's video, we ain't gonna be that sciencey as we usually are. Instead, we're gonna spread some awareness on dyslexia and dysgraphia. So, stay tuned for the rest.
We can kill a light, hit the light, let it black out, hit the light, let it black out.
Before you watch this video, I'd like to ask you to not self-diagnose yourselves by it. If you realize some symptoms on yourself, do not think you have that learning disability. Instead, go to a professional who can judge it. Only continue watching at your peril. Dyslexia and dysgraphia are learning disabilities. Obviously, there are other ones as well, such as ADHD or dyscalculia, but in today's video, we are going to talk about these two specific ones. So, just for clarification, what is a learning disability? People with learning disabilities have troubles with processing words or numbers, and as well studying itself. These people also study slower, and they may have problems with focusing, just if we think about ADHD. However, it's crucial to state these people are not any less clever or intelligent than anyone else. They only have issues. Imagine a running competition. Two runners start at the same time. One of them can run the whole distance without any obstacles, but the second competitor can only run it with approximately 5 obstacles. So the second competitor still ran on the race. They only had barriers in their way. And yeah, as you probably figured out, the second competitor is somebody with a learning disability. Dyslexia and dysgraphia are pretty common. Studies showcase that out of 5 students, one possibly has dyslexia or dysgraphia. Moreover, we have to state the fact that people usually don't get only one learning disability, they get usually more. For example, according to different studies, people with dyscalculia, half of them also possess dyslexia, which means these really can connect to each other. Moreover, it can be accompanied by ADHD or ADD, and as well fine motor skill problems. These learning disabilities originate from the brain, but what we really have to understand, these people are not any less than us. And yeah, I said it again because it's something which is really important to acknowledge. We should have these people, but they are not any less clever than anybody else. In fact, these people have around average or above average IQ levels, and that could be told about any kind of learning disability. So let's get a deeper dive into dyslexia. Dyslexia is particularly known as the learning disability of reading, but it also causes problems with spelling and as well talking, as these things are based on each other. It is also known as a language processing disorder, and people born with this condition, so it is originated in the family. Scientifically speaking, people with dyslexia process information in different parts of their brain than people without it. Information is processed for a longer time, indeed. It's because they use a further away part of their brain, so the flow of information basically needs more time. Moreover, people with dyslexia have troubles with connecting the letters and the sounds, which causes problems with loud reading. Dyslexia can cause problems with also loud speaking and writing itself. Now let's talk about the reading problem it causes. If you have dyslexia, you may read slower as a result of the previously mentioned moderate processing. The most typical symptom of dyslexia is mixing up letters. For example, now as won or left as fought. Your brain can also create words which actually do not exist. Furthermore, people with this disability may read a paragraph and not process anything from it, which by you particularly read it, but you have zero clue about what you have read, resulting that they have to reread things a lot of times. Let's talk about the stereotype too. People who have dyslexia are usually seen as somebody who do not read, which is in fact a stereotype. People with dyslexia do read, it just takes a longer time to them. Actually, people with this condition do read a lot because they'd like to compensate with reading. Despite the fact that you will live your whole life with dyslexia, with the right techniques and methods, you can improve a lot in it and go so far with it and make reading an unproblematic thing in your life. On top of that, technology helps a lot, such as audiobooks or autocorrect. So let's move on dysgraphia. Dysgraphia is the learning disability of writing, especially handwriting. People with this condition usually find making coherent text as a huge task. This is also known as a transcript learning disability. Moreover, people with dysgraphia have problems with actually orthographic coding and finger sequencing. Orthographic coding means a set of conventions for writing on a language. It includes norms of spelling, hyphenation, capitalization, word breaks, emphasis, and punctuation. Finger sequencing also plays a big role. It means the way you use your fingers and your muscles and how you hold your whole hand. Dysgraphia, of course, have more symptoms than this, so let's cover them. Dysgraphia actually causes problems with wrists, arms, and bodies because people with dysgraphia use their muscles not really well. They have troubles with holding pens. They can easily mix up upper and lower letters as well. Also, copying can be a really hard task for them. They highly rely on verbal cues and vision. Furthermore, most of people with dysgraphia have poor legibility and spatial planning. Also, actually writing and drawing can be physically painful for them. So dysgraphia causes a lot of problems with writing, but of course, this is totally improvable. Dysgraphia have three different categories. The first one is basically the spelling part of dyslexia. These people have problems with spelling and writing too, but we really have to understand this is not technically dyslexia because these people not necessarily have dyslexia as well. They have the dyslexia part in dysgraphia. The second part of dysgraphia is caused by the previously discussed finger sequencing, which by it is known as the motor dyslexia. People with finer motor skill problems usually have this condition. They have problems with handwriting and also drawing, copying, and things like that. For them, spelling is a small issue. The last category is spatial dysgraphia. People with this, as the name suggests, have problems with spacing letters, and spatial awareness. For instance, they have troubles with staying between the lines, and they usually don't use the correct amount of spacing between the words. Handwriting and drawing is normally illegible from them. Spelling is not really a weak point of theirs. People with dyslexia or dysgraphia can get different ways of help. But we really have to understand this is not a disease, and dyslexia or dysgraphia or any kind of learning disability cannot be cured, but you can improve on it. People with learning disabilities can get help in school learning, have different grading, get more time, and they are able to participate in therapies which help them improve their skills. Also, different technological methods can help you, like autocorrect or recoding classes. Fortunately, there are a lot of ways to help people with different learning disabilities, but obviously the first step is diagnosis by a professional. Emotional support is needed too. And if you know somebody with these conditions, let them know it's not a shame. And also, if you can help them in any kind of way, do it, guys. It's the coolest thing you can do. And now I like to talk to those who have a learning disability. Don't be ashamed of it. I know it's hard to believe, but you're not any less than anybody. You have just a harder task to accomplish, but they should be only respected. And don't be afraid of asking for help. And if you have somebody who bully you, those people do not respect you and do not respect your condition, so don't even bother with them. They are not right. I believe that even with barriers in front of you, you can break them. Yes, with a lot of effort, but when you do, just think how big of a thing you've just accomplished. And it can be reading, it can be writing a 2 pages essay, it can be anything. At the end of the day, what matters is you do something big despite your disability. And this was all for today, guys. I brought you this little bit of awareness video. I hope you like this style too. And if you want more awareness spreading videos or any kind of video or learning disabilities, then let us know in the comment section below. And if you like this video, then be sure to subscribe or like it. And as well, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And as usual, see ya after the blackout.